Hey, it's Elizabeth Brown, the Kitchen Vixen. Good morning. I have got to rush to work. I just went and did a quick workout. My appetite has been extra big because I've been marathon training and I haven't even done any super long runs yet. I've been increasing my carbs. So yesterday I made some quinoa, which I used to teach patients about quinoa when I used to do supermarket tours in like the mid-90s. And I would call it quinoa because nobody else knew what it was, so nobody corrected me. And then I made some lentils because I'm always looking for more fiber, protein, and iron, and lentils are a good source of iron. So, and together, the quinoa and the lentils make a complete protein, even though quinoa gets a lot of hype for being higher in protein, and it is higher than brown rice. It's 4 grams of protein versus 2 grams for the same quantity. It's also higher in zinc and iron, and I think magnesium. So, I mean, significantly higher, which is one reason why I'm going to start using it again. I kind of fell away from it because I don't love the consistency of it. I usually prefer the consistency of rice, brown rice or wild rice. I'm just going to cut up some carrots, saute some carrots, and I've got some chicken that I've been marinating in a grapefruit vinaigrette that I made from a previous recipe I posted. So what I try to do is I'm kind of at the end of the week now. My cleaning girl's coming today, so I really have to rush so I'm not in her way. When she comes, I like to always have food for her as well as, of course, for myself to take to work. And I haven't gone grocery shopping because I'm just trying to clean out my fridge, so it makes it easier for cleaning. I don't even have any leafy greens, sadly, but at least I'm using carrots. I'm putting grapefruit in my chicken, and I'm getting like the most nutritious grains I could find in my pantry. So I'm just going to saute these carrots and get brown. I will add my chicken. So this morning when I went to the gym, I decided to use the big tire, and it was really fun. And the best part about it was, well, first of all, I also created a new exercise. I was pulling the tire back. I mean, maybe I've seen people like wrap something around themselves and pull it that way, but I was getting down and pulling. And I could feel my hamstrings being engaged and my butt, and so it was really good. And then pushing it is a lot of like upper body strength and mid-core, core strength. So that was great. And then when I was leaving, there was this really pretty girl that was stretching, and she was in great shape. And she's like, she goes, "You're a badass," or "You go, girl," or something like that. And it was so cute, and it made me so happy, actually. She was really sweet. Her name was Stephanie, and she was a badass. I mean, she was in great shape. So I was flattered that she complimented me. It was very sweet. And she said she hasn't tried it yet because she's got really long nails. So I don't know if your nails would affect it. You have to grab like where the tread is, and you just got to like push with your legs and your butt to move it up. It's really fun, actually, once you get the hang of it. When I came back, I could see the Santa Monica Pier was all lit up with a commemorative Kobe Bryant things. It's very sad what happened, the whole event, and it makes you, of course, appreciate life. And also to think about the people that are like your inspiration in your life. I know Kobe's been a huge inspiration for a lot of people, and I loved basketball growing up. It was like, that was my sport. That's what I played. I always shot hoops. In my previous video, I talked a little bit about how I had interacted with The Rock. Well, mostly with his dad, but I met The Rock when he was like 17. I'm a little bit older than him. For 2 years, I worked at this gym called Living Well Fitness Center in Allentown, where The Rock lived in Bethlehem, like right next door. And I used to train with his dad and I thought they were his uncles, the Wild Samoans, but they are related. But they're all like these big wrestler guys, and like this is like in the late 80s. I would like joke around with them like, you can't make a living as a wrestler, and they were really sweet, and they were always talking about how they were afraid of their wives because they're Samoan women. I work with some Samoan women, and they're just awesome, tough people. I love them. I thought it was funny, like, you big wrestler guys afraid of your wives, It's just ironic then that The Rock ended up being like the biggest wrestler ever. And then I ran into him when I first moved here in 2006 at Equinox, and I talked to him, and he was really sweet. I'm like, yeah, I know your dad and your uncles. A year later, I'm working at a Gold's Gym, and people are going up to him, and I just hesitantly approached him, and he was like, oh yeah, you're Elizabeth from Living Well. I told my dad I saw you. So it was really cool that he remembered me. in that association. And then, of course, my recent interaction with Conor McGregor, who was also very sweet. He's the man. Like, even my mom knows who he is, so that's pretty impressive. And I'm sure that's what he wants to hear. Like, even my mom knows, but he's very, very sweet. It's cool to have heroes. You always have to be your own hero. So I was thinking about, like, as I work out every day, I'm 51. I've been working out since I was just turning 17. So it's a lot of years, and I've always had to push myself, you know, and I think about all the things I've done over my life. I was a competitive power lifter in high school and a bodybuilder all through college, and then I did some marathons and marathon training and moving all over the country and going to grad school and working full time, undergrad working full time, and just keep going. I'm still working towards having a cooking show after all of these years. I've been working on my dream longer than Conor McGregor has been alive, so I'm not disrespecting him, but it's like, it's tough. And anybody who has a dream, a huge dream, could tell you that you just never give up. So, all right, so my carrots are nice and brown, or becoming nice and brown. So now I can add my chicken. I have 2 chicken thighs. I wanted to bake them, which is why I put the grapefruit in here, because when you bake grapefruit, it's so kind of iffy that I had it in chicken, but I would, you know, bake it till it like caramelizes, and it's just really yummy. I'm just gonna open up these chicken thighs and let them cook in my skillet. And I fixed my lid a little while back. So this is a lid I got at a thrift store, and I need a new screw for it, so I got a new nut and bolt. So it's really secure now, so I'm going to use that lid instead. Once this is cooked, then I'll just heat up some quinoa and lentils to go with it. Put some in a glass block container, and I'm off to work. I don't even have a protein shake today. And I'm going to save my carrot ends. I put those in my stock. I did make soup stock a little while back, and I didn't video it, so I'll have to make one soon. I think I'm finally cutting back on my work hours, I hope. And then with my training, my appetite's going up, so I need to eat more, so I should be cooking more. All right, so I have my teriyaki sauce, and the other day when I made it, I forgot to put water in the recipe, so just to like thin it out a little bit, just so it goes further, but same difference. I mean, it had a really good flavor. I didn't even have time to do my hair because I'm really running, which usually only takes me like 5 minutes, but I didn't plug in my curling iron before I left. My chicken's done. I'm gonna let it cook while I just add some lentils and some quinoa. And again, this is going to be for 2 people. So I probably have like a cup each of lentils and quinoa. And then I'm going to add the teriyaki sauce. I'm going to let this reduce though. There's a lot of liquid in here. So normally when I make my lentils and quinoa, the rule of thumb is that you use a finger notch. I'll have to show you next time I make it. A finger notch above the grain. So if the grain ended here, the water would go up that high. So that's how much water. You don't have to measure it. I think when I made my lentils and quinoa, I really like just added as much water or whatever. If there's extra water, it's not a big deal. You lose some of your B vitamins if you pour off the water, but if you let the water absorb back into the grain, then you know, retain those vitamins and minerals. I'm gonna put the teriyaki sauce on the chicken. And it's ironic, I'm wearing my kale shirt and I have nothing green in my diet today. It's like sacrilege as a dietitian. Right, Chandler? My cats don't care. They're like, just feed us. They're carnivores. They like meat. They don't care. Although they like greens too, actually. So see the pot? There's carrots. There's lentils and quinoa. And chicken. Protein. So I've got to replenish the muscles. And then I'm going to go for a run when I get home today. I keep saying I'm not going to go in the evening, but I don't leave myself enough time in the morning. And I don't like rushing my runs. Like, I'm not a fast runner. I mean, I can be for short distances, but for long distances, it takes me long. And I just want to take my time and enjoy the run because I really love running. It's just harder at night. So anybody that's trying to exercise, just know that if you keep thinking you're going to do it at night, it is the hardest time to keep your motivation going, especially after a long work day. Especially for me, I have like an hour-and-a-half commute each way. It sucks. So I guess that's it. I got to get going. I'm going to put it in my glass lock container. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to post this whenever. Rebuilding muscle. See, I haven't even done biceps lately. Well, a little bit the other day. Oh, and I saw this 80-year-old grandmother, Ernestine. Dude, she's badass. And she gets up at 2:30 in the morning to work out. And I get up at 2:30 sometimes. I just wake up. But at least by 3:30, I'm always up. And even my boss, we were texting this morning at like 6. And I was already done with my workout. And she's like, we're up too early. I'm like, yeah, always. Let's get going, make things happen.